The late summer air hung heavy with humidity as thousands gathered at the Butler County Fairgrounds in western Pennsylvania. Supporters of former President Donald Trump had converged, a sea of red hats and patriotic attire, eager to hear their champion speak. The atmosphere crackled with anticipation, a mix of excitement and simmering discontent. Trump, known for his fiery rhetoric and ability to ignite a crowd, was back on the campaign trail. The rally was a quintessential Trump event, imbued with an almost carnival-like atmosphere. Music blared, vendors hawked merchandise, and the crowd buzzed with conversations about the state of the nation. For many in attendance, this was more than a political rally. It was a cultural gathering, a chance to connect with like-minded individuals and reaffirm their beliefs. The energy was palpable, a potent mix of hope, anger, and unwavering support for the former president. As the sun began its descent, casting long shadows across the fairgrounds, the anticipation reached fever pitch. The crowd roared as Trump took the stage, his familiar silhouette bathed in the glow of spotlights. His words, amplified through the loudspeakers, echoed across the fairgrounds, carrying promises of a return to greatness and warnings of the dangers that lay ahead. For a moment, all eyes were on the former president, his every word hanging in the air. The first shot rang out, sharp and sudden, piercing the evening air. It was a sound that cut through the cheers and applause, a jarring intrusion into the festive atmosphere. A collective gasp rippled through the crowd, followed by a moment of stunned silence, as if no one dared believe what they had heard. Then pandemonium erupted. The initial shock quickly gave way to fear and confusion as people scrambled for safety. The once orderly rows of chairs and bleachers transformed into a chaotic mass of bodies, pushing and shoving, desperate to escape the perceived threat. Screams filled the air, a cacophony of terror and uncertainty. The stage, moments ago a beacon of political theatre, was now a potential target, its occupants exposed and vulnerable. Amidst the chaos, Secret Service agents sprang into action, forming a protective barrier around the former president. Time seemed to slow to a crawl, as agents, their faces etched with urgency, hustled Trump off the stage and towards the relative safety of a waiting vehicle. The crowd, now a surging tide of humanity, parted before them, their fear palpable. "It all happened so fast," recounted Emily Carter, a young woman attending the rally with her family. "One minute we were cheering, the next we were running for our lives." Her voice trembled as she described the scene, her eyes wide with lingering fear. "I saw people falling, trampling over each other. It was terrifying." John Miller, a retired police officer who had volunteered for security detail at the rally, provided a chilling account from a different vantage point. "I was near the stage when I heard the shots," he said, his voice raspy with emotion. "I saw the Secret Service swarm the president, pushing him towards the exit. People were screaming, running in every direction. It was pure chaos." As the initial wave of panic subsided, the true extent of the tragedy began to emerge. Witnesses reported seeing a lone gunman perched on a nearby rooftop, firing into the crowd. The air was thick with the acrid smell of gunpowder, a grim reminder of the violence that had unfolded. First responders, sirens wailing, arrived on the scene, navigating the throngs of panicked people to reach the wounded. The immediate response to the shooting was swift and decisive. Law enforcement officers, already on high alert at the large gathering, quickly converged on the scene, their training kicking in as they worked to secure the area and apprehend the shooter. Within minutes, the gunman was neutralized, his reign of terror brought to an abrupt end. The shooting sent shockwaves through the nation, raising serious questions about security protocols and the vulnerability of public figures. How could a lone gunman, armed and dangerous, gain access to a position from which he could fire upon a crowd of thousands, particularly one guarded by the Secret Service? The incident exposed a potential breach in security, a chilling reminder that even in this age of advanced technology and heightened security measures, no one is truly safe. In the aftermath of the shooting, the Secret Service found itself under intense scrutiny. Critics questioned the agency's ability to protect the president, pointing to the shooting as evidence of a failure in planning and execution. The incident sparked a thorough review of security protocols, with calls for increased vigilance and enhanced measures to prevent similar tragedies in the future. In the aftermath of the incident, the country found itself deeply divided. Communities were torn apart, and the sense of unity seemed like a distant memory. People took to the streets expressing their frustration and anger. It was clear that the wounds ran deep and healing would not come easily. The media frenzy only added fuel to the fire. Sensational headlines and unverified reports spread like wildfire, creating an atmosphere of confusion and distrust. Misinformation became rampant, making it difficult for anyone to discern the truth. It was a chaotic time, with every new piece of information being met with skepticism and doubt. Despite the chaos, there were glimmers of hope. Community leaders and activists began to emerge, advocating for dialogue and understanding. Efforts to bridge the divide started to take shape, though it was clear that the road to healing would be long and arduous. It required patience, empathy, and a willingness to listen. Amidst the turmoil, questions of safety and security loomed large. People wanted assurances that such an incident would never happen again. There were calls for reform, for measures to be put in place to protect communities and prevent future tragedies. It was a time of reflection as the nation grappled with how to move forward while ensuring the safety of its citizens.